Hey college applicants. So right now I'm going to look at the UVA supplement, and through describing how I might tackle the questions asked in the prompts, you're going to get a better idea on how you can answer them for UVA and for other colleges as well. So let's look at what we have here. Now it's in an interesting heading here, academics, and if you're going through a lot of other supplements you'll see that maybe there's another writing tab, but academics provides us with this question. Answer one of the following essay questions. Please indicate the prompt you are responding to. Limit your response to half a page or roughly 250 words. And you've got two options here. The first one is Stephen Hawking asked the question, what is the probability of life existing elsewhere in the universe? In his public lecture, Life in the Universe. And here's the question. If life does in fact exist elsewhere in the universe, and you could send one thing to represent the human race, what would it be and why would you choose it? That's the first option. Second option is what issue of local, national, or international significance concerns you? Why? Tough. These are, this is not optional. You have to do this. So every year students stress out about questions like these. And honestly, they're right. I think if the point of your application is, or one of the major points, one of the major goals you have in your application is creating likability, these look like they could potentially be hot button issues that people fight about, people honestly die for around the world, talking about religion, some of these issues, local, national, international issues. If they're international issues, they potentially could be very hot button issues. So you have to tread lightly, and there are tactics that you can take to make sure that you don't alienate the reader. I think a lot of students have the logic, I'm just going to write who I am, and if the college doesn't like me, well, so be it, I'm not meant to go there. And in fact, that's not necessarily a nuanced perspective. Just because you get an admissions officer who, for whatever reason, probably because you presented yourself poorly or your writing is offensive, even if you did everything correctly, if the admissions officer, if one person, two people, for some reason they don't like you, that's not a representation of what the college thinks. The college, these are just two people, this is the reality of the process, and you don't want to take major risks in your application for no benefit just because you want to show who you are. I find a lot of students who say that, this is just what I'm going to write, this is who I am. They're just coming up with an excuse because they're too lazy to do all the rewrites that are necessary to create a really solid essay in which you're not taking huge risks, you're showing you're insightful, and you really appear undeniable to any reader, regardless of that reader's background. They can really see where you're coming from, they understand who you are, they understand your perspective, and they understand that you have the ability to think logically and in a nuanced way. So let's bring it back here. These both ask kind of the same thing. To talk about larger issues, maybe tie it back to you. If you had to send an artifact to an alien species pretty much that represents the human race, what would it be and why? What would I pick? I'd pick something that shows a positive trait, obviously. Even if you don't feel this way or you think a negative answer would be clever, stay positive. So I want an object here that represents the human race. What would it be? Positive trait in the human race, our ability to connect, empathy, to help people, something that shows that. Maybe an iPhone. Why? It's the context. Again, I talk about context a lot. If you send an iPhone to the aliens, why would I do that? I'd send an iPhone to the aliens for a couple reasons. The ability of the human race to connect with people and to connect to each other. That's embodied in the iPhone. Also, our ability to seek knowledge, that we're very interested aliens. We found you, after all. We're interested in learning, and you can access the intelligence of the world, the history, the entire intelligence of the history of the world in 1 second on your phone. That's something I want you to understand. And it's also, whenever you can incorporate comedy into any piece of writing here, as long as it's done well, that's the key. You've got to do it right. So for this iPhone example that I'm just making up now, and obviously always refine what you're doing, come up with multiple options, maybe write multiple essays with different objects, and then you can choose which of these 3 essays do I want to pick: the iPhone, the dog bone, or the TV? What do I send to these aliens? Right? You get to see what your writing would be and then come from a really informed place when you select the piece of writing. Back to the iPhone though, maybe I would have a little sentence on how the iPhone could contain a bunch of I don't know, it's a little cliche, but like something funny like cat videos, or to show that the human race has a sense of humor, something silly. And I'm sure even aliens would like a cat swinging on a vine like Tarzan on a tire swing or something like that. Something funny, something cute. Again, you don't need to be a stand-up comedian. Just a little cute image that shows that you can laugh at yourself, that you do contain the ability to write something that's kind of clever and cute and funny. The other prompt would be, what issue of local, national, or international significance concerns you? Pick something that you can spin positively. Like, it concerns me that we haven't helped all these people yet when we have the ability to do so. Now, you don't need to say it with my voice, but that would be a better choice than a piece of writing on how bad global warming is, and well, nobody seems to care, and lower Manhattan's going to be underwater in 20 years, and then David Richards going to have to find a new place to live. But something that's very, very negative, you really got to spin that. You could describe how serious this issue is in the first couple sentences, but then the essay needs to end on a positive note. You might have really great points on with the overall negative tone, say global warming, and that you could probably make global warming positive too. You can spin a lot of these issues, but the underlying goal should be to leave the reader feeling uplifted, feeling strongly that you're someone who's going to solve these issues. Even if, like I said, the underlying issue is negative, maybe you just shouldn't choose that. Choose something that could be twisted and made into kind of a very uplifting, positive issue. So an issue that's on the brink of being solved, and maybe it's more, we have the solution, now it's just an implementation issue, and the implementation issue is what you highlight. But overall, you want to leave the reader feeling okay, feeling happy, feeling like you're going to bring good news to the college when you attend, that you're solving problems, not simply complaining about them. So hopefully that helps you with your UVA supplement. Again, a lot of colleges ask questions that are very similar to these, so think about what I said, watch this video if you're applying to other schools, and as always, guys, good luck applying, and thanks for all your wonderful emails and comments. I'm absolutely happy to help, and if you'd like more information about my services, see the link below, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.